Oh, it's live. It might help if I actually look at the interface here. Hey, how are y'all? And looks like we got Ryan Formaker. Hope I'm saying your name right, but I recognize your handle there. Right there. Hey. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. I am unbelievable as always. Goofing off here. Worked on a little bit of stuff for work, and now I am just goofing off inside of Lightroom, and I should probably try to clean up in here. My studio is a mess now. I ripped some stuff out and moved some things around, and now it just looks like a good bit of chaos up in here. It's really bad. Let me see if I can show you. Grab another camera here. Let's see. So we're going to hold that camera right there, and then we'll switch to which one? I don't know which one is my webcam. That one. There we go. See all that mess over there just on the floor? And that's just, merely gym in the house. Yeah, it's a mess, man. And then that's over there. Really, really messy. Really, really messy. But that's okay. Shit happens. I've been trying to move some stuff around and reorganize things, if you will. And every time I try to reorganize things, I just make a bigger mess. It's a vicious cycle. Jeez. How were y'all with the New Year's Eve holiday stuff? Do y'all do any of that celebration and all of that? I typically don't make much of a fuss about it, but apparently people are this time around. For each his own. To each his own, I should say. This dude right here, let me see. That guy, James Disner, also known as Merely Jim on the Twitterverse. It's a pretty funny cat. Make sure I give him a follow. But yeah, that's the thing. I assume some people are doing a bit of low key, not quite as big and boisterous celebrations and things like that, as far as a physical gathering, if you will. Josh Rice in the house. How you doing, Josh? But to each his own. If people are going to do that whole partying up, have at it. It's your life. Just wear a mask. At least that's my 2 cents. Wear a mask. And but yeah, I don't plan on doing anything. I'm pretty sure I will be on the couch and watching football until football goes off. But then again, football goes off really early over here. So I don't know. I'll probably watch Archer or The Office reruns or something until midnight hits here. Moosey Geek, the gamer, the man. What's up, brother? Yeah, I remember the last year with this New Year's Eve. It was pretty funny to do a bit of a 2 times celebration with people, because we were looking at the house back in North Carolina and talking to people and, doing the whole Happy New Year. Well, I wasn't. Family was. I don't really do all of that. Well, I did with my mom, so that was about it. And then you had to wait a whole 3 hours for it to happen over here. It's a little weird. So it's like we got multiple New Year's Eve celebrations or whatever, but 3 hours is a long time when you're just sort of hanging out and chilling. I mean, 3 hours is the length of a football game. you know? Let's see. Let me see if I can add this over here. Hold on. I'll see if I can pull up the chat. Let's see here. We'll do this, and that. There we go. Just in case people want to see the chat. Yeah, Moosey Geek says, looking forward to 2021 for a brighter year. Yeah, no doubts. Mr. Joshua Rice says the same thing. Almost as long as Wonder Woman 84. You know, I haven't seen the Wonder Woman movie, and like most movies, I'm pretty sure I won't see it for a while. I hardly ever see anything on the first release. Heck, I hardly ever see anything popular within the first month. I don't know. I don't know. Uh-oh, my camera froze. Look at that. My camera froze. Why did you freeze, camera? Get your crap together. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, I don't particularly watch a lot of stuff right when they first come out. And I don't really get bent out of shape when they're really bad. Because some things are pretty bad. The only time I really get bent out of shape is when it costs me a lot of money. But again, most of the time that stuff doesn't cost me a lot of money, so I'm not going to get bent out of shape. Just, it was bad, move on. I watched something recently with Chad Johnson and Chad Boseman and Viola Davis. And it was based off of a play, what I found out later, which further explains why I didn't care for it. And I just didn't care for it. It was a movie on Netflix and looked like it was going to be fascinating and awesome and give me some insight, a little bit more information. It's called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And it just didn't do anything for me. The acting in it was unbelievable. I mean, it was really, really great acting. I didn't care for the writing though. It just sort of went all over the place, But hey, they created something. They at least made people Google the name Ma Rainey. At least did that. I just wish it was a little bit more done. But as far as Wonder Woman goes, I'm sure I'll see it. I liked the first one. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. But I think I've seen it twice. It's not something I would watch over and over again. And I'm sure this is something that I would watch one time and never watch it again either. I just don't watch a lot of TV or movies. That's probably the problem. I just don't watch a lot of TV and movies like most people do. Playing around with this photo I shot the other morning. I don't really have a plan. I'm just chilling on my lunch break, if you will. Nothing to it. James Dinsner says, I've become my father, looking more to books than movies and TVs. Yep, I'm old. Well, let me tell you something, sir. I'm pretty much the same way, but I'm not old. I am old-ish. Get it right. You may be old. I'm not. I'm old-ish. But yeah, just some things I just don't care to do anymore. And if I am watching the screen, I typically watch a lot of reruns, a lot of funny comedic reruns, because I don't care to watch a bunch of bad news and downing stuff. It's just not my thing. It's that there's so much shit-tastic energy going on in the world. I don't care to contribute to that and getting any more of that shit-tastic bad energy brought into my world. So I will watch Office reruns all day, or Veep reruns, whatever. Just keeps me happy. Hope I cooled that off way too much. Way too much. That looks better. I bet this highlight looks really weird on the stream though. Let's see. Never watching TV at all, but rarely. Mostly YouTube, says Mr. Rice. What do you watch on YouTube? I watch a lot of YouTube also. I watch a lot of I'll watch a couple photographers. And I'll watch a couple reviews. Every now and then I'll watch some tutorials for like somebody doing something in After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere. And then I'll watch some documentary stuff. There's a lot of good documentaries out there too. Bruce Shark, what's happening? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And cheers to you. And accomplished, boy, that's questionable. Accomplished, handsome, I'm not going to question that because I am a good looking cat. But accomplished, wise friend, that's questionable. So thank you very much for that. Make that a little bit bigger because y'all probably can't see it there. Now you can see it until I take it away. But yeah, YouTube, I'll watch a lot of documentaries and stuff too. I remember seeing this one aerial documentary where they went around. It was a series, actually. It was all aerial, shot with a drone, and they went to pretty much every state in the United States and gave you just a bit of a tour and a little bit of history, background, and all of that stuff. And some of the stuff I knew, and a lot of it I had no idea, because quite frankly, why would I know any history about the state of Montana or about the state of Idaho? Being where I'm from in the South, I mean, we barely knew anything about anything outside of the South. You know, it's just wasn't taught. You know, it wasn't important to us. Not that we weren't interested. It's just it wasn't really pushed on us. So you never even thought to think about the rest of the world. And it sucks. Public school system sucks for that. But yeah, it was cool to see the stuff talking about states like Idaho, because I don't know anything about Idaho other than potatoes, and Boise State, Montana, the Dakotas, California. There was stuff about California. I knew a fair amount about California because of the history, but then there were some other things, you know. Bruce Sharp says, I watch documentaries. Yeah, he says, I watch documentaries and shark stuff. Makes me Jeep. Oh, man. Oh, Google Plus. Those were the days. Merely Jim says, so when I feel I can't save a photo with color editing, I'll black and white it. Covers all. You know, that's a damn good tip. Quite frankly, that's a damn good tip. I've done that myself. And sometimes you just miss the mark. And the black and white allows you to cover up some of the blemishes and issues. And sometimes it'll even create a whole different story. So yeah, I have no qualms on people doing that. Quite frankly, shooting in black and white is a lot tougher. In my opinion, it's a lot tougher because you really got to get a story, because people's eyes are drawn to colors. People's eyes are drawn to light. You know, you look at this picture right here. The first thing your eye notice is this daggum spot of light right there in the middle. Even though right now it's not really interesting. It's just there. That's the first thing you see. Right. Bruce Sharp says, since I pulled over to say hi, I'm going to hit the road again. Peace to you. Same to you. Same to you. Thank you again for all your support, and keep Nicole straight. Keep her straight. Love you, man. Love you. All right, so let's get back to this photograph. I think I'm done with it here inside of Lightroom at the moment. Lift these shadows a little bit. It's a cool little walking trail back here. The only sad thing about this spot is there's a bunch of homeless people that'll camp out there. And sort of feel bad for those folks. Okay, so let's go into Photoshop. No, wait a minute. Let me take this haze off. Had too much haze. I want to add just a little. Something like that. And now push the shadows up. So we can see some detail in those trees. Something like that. And then we'll go into Photoshop. Play around there. And I'll take this off this camera because nobody wants to see an app loading, especially a slow loading app. But anyway, so what else going on? Y'all got any questions or anything you'd like to add to this stream that you'd like for me to share? Someone tried to call my phone just now. Bless their hearts. I never answer the phone. I'm really bad about phone calls. Why is this not opening? Come on, Photoshop. There it goes. There it goes. Now we got it. Well, I thought it was ready. Did it freeze? There we go. All right, so as usual, I will sharpen this up. Good old Photoshop actions to speed up the workflow. It's probably the only Photoshop action I use every single time. Every single time. And that looks better already. See, got more detail in the trees and stuff now. Much better. But I think I overdid it just a little bit. So we'll scale it back just a touch on that sharpness. So I don't want to over sharpen it because you get a bunch of funky looking artifacts. And if you got noise in the image, it really brings that noise out. So I think that works. But let's see, what else can we do to this thing? Let's play with some gradients. Just goofing off. Let's take G on the keyboard. Basic one. Foreground to transparent. All right. And I want to make a gradient like this. Too much. Duh. And I'm using the wrong one. I want it to be round. Let's see. Nope. Let's make it bigger. Okay, so I made it really big, but that's on purpose because I can always scale it down to something like that. Then I'm going to change the blend mode. Let's see. Blend modes are fun. Typically, I like soft light and overlay. Hard light looks okay too. But of course, this up here looks like crap. So we need to do a bit of a layer mask. Jim says, I recently got a Windows laptop, loaded up Inkspace to play with SVGs, but haven't really had a chance to play with it. Ooh, nice. And my camera froze again. Why does my camera keep freezing? And then my computer just made a really, really loud noise in my ear. Sounds like someone is trying to chat with me. So hold on, let me get rid of that on the screen. Y'all don't need to see that. That's what we'll do. Close that chat. There. So I don't have to hear that popping in my ear anymore. Okay. Ben Merchant says, I always assumed you were a Mac guy. I wonder why that is. Why is that, Ben? I'm curious. What makes you assume that I was a Mac person? Inquiring minds want to know. Layer mask. See, that sun looks a little bit better with that little bit of a glow coming down from it like that, don't you think? But I think it'll be better if I put some blur on it. So let's put some blur on it. Turn this into a smart object. Any day now. There we go. And then we'll do filter, blur. Let's go Gaussian blur. Jim says popular myth is Adobe CC runs better on Mac. Yeah, you're right. It's a myth because quite frankly, a lot of things just run better on Mac because of how that operating system is designed. It's just, it is what it is. But I can't say Adobe Suite runs any better on Mac. That I can't say, because from what I've seen from people, this doesn't look like it's blurring enough. From what I've seen from people, it doesn't look much different on a nice Windows machine. This blur does not seem to be doing what I want it to do. Yeah, it didn't really change much. Let's try a different blur. Let's try bots blur. See if that helps. Whoop. Totally got rid of it that time. There we go. Now we're getting better. It's one of those fine line kind of things. You don't want to go too far. Something like that. Ben says, there we go. He replies, let's show everybody. Because of all of the Adobe apps you run, I'm a Twig guy. Maybe you've mentioned using Windows before, but I don't know. Just got Rush and it. Ooh. Nice. Somebody got some new hardware. And also, I'm going to look straight into the camera for this one. Thank you for watching Twig. That means a lot. Appreciate people are here on my personal channel that come from the Twit network. So thank you for watching Twig, and thank you for popping in and checking this out too. That's what's up. Thank you. But yeah, I'm a Windows guy. I've always had a bit of an affinity for the Apple hardware, but I've never really been able to afford it. I mean, I could buy them now. Within the last couple of years, I could have bought one, but I never really saw a value in spending that additional money when I could get a Windows machine like this one. Now, granted, this Windows machine is long in the tooth, but it has, I don't know, I think 32 gigs of RAM. It's got an octa-core processor, and I got a shit ton of storage on here. And had I done this the Apple way, I would have had to spend, you know, well over the amount that I spent for this one, you know? So that's what sort of kept me on the Windows side of things. And that's actually what kept me on the AMD side of things, because I'm running a Ryzen chip, and AMD Ryzen is pretty damn good for, you know, maybe 2/3 the price of an Intel chip, you know? So for me, it was all about bang for my buck, you know? But again, thank you. Thank you for checking out Twit and checking me out. All right. So this is looking better. I'm going to do just a little bit more layer mask on this. So let me zoom in some. I was zoomed in too much. A little bit of a layer mask. Take that flow down. Just a touch. There we go. See, doesn't that look more tasty? Landscape images, tasty. And then I'm going to add another brush here. So let's go. Dust brush. Love this dust brush from Miss Lisa. That's pretty. That's nice. Very nice. See, now we got a little bit of fog. Right? Ain't that nice? You get a little bit of fog and haze. That's nice. I think I went overboard though in the middle. So let's go right here where I went overboard. Yeah, I like that a lot. Now, I don't know if anybody knows about this, and I think I've talked about this on my show, and the camera froze yet again. But there's a little way to do some color grading inside of Photoshop that will make things pop a little bit better. And you use a gradient map. So I'll hit this adjustment layer and I'll select gradient map. Then I'll pick some colors. This side would represent the shadows of your image. Like that. And then this side will represent the highlights of your image. Something like that. Click OK. And I went overboard. Click OK. And then you just change the blend mode. And then change the blend mode to like soft light to see what happens. And that's a little heavy-handed there. So of course I'm going to dial it back some. That blue is way too blue. And the orange is a little too orange for this scene. So I'm going to dial it back just a touch. Something like that. Okay, so this is without the gradient map. And then that's with it. So it changes the hue just a little bit. And you can go crazy with that and have some fun with it. Let's see. Kwame Johnson. Oh, man. Look at this comment. Now, how kind is this? I actually resubscribed to Twig just because of you. Love seeing the things you're doing. See? You hit me right in the feels. Hey, thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. That show, man, for those who don't know what Twig is short for This Week in Google on Twit TV. And when people hear that title, This Week in Google, they think the show is about a couple of folks sitting around some mics talking about Google for the week. And that's not always the case. It's Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft. It's all of the big tech industry. You know, it's all of the big tech folks, and sometimes political. And then there's what we try to do is just look at the tech news and see how it can be related to other things that we're dealing with. You know, it's not always just talking about Android phones. It's not always just talking about Apple computers. It's talking about the things that will affect people on a real world schedule, level of things. And when I came to the show, I like to assume that I brought the perspective of just the average person. I'm not a gazillionaire. I'm not rich at all. I'm not dirt poor or anything like that. But I've been, you know, financially struggling at some point in my life. So I know what it feels like to financially struggle and have a family and things like that. So I just try to bring my perspective, because whether people want to believe it or not, the folks here in California, they're in a bubble. That's the tech industry, the financials, heck, even I think a lot of the residents here are in a bubble, because I've had discussions with residents about random shit and they have no idea, you know, because they just didn't know, because it's like the world just sort of revolves around the state of California, and that's fine. I had a sense of that myself, you know, because there's a lot of things I didn't know outside of the South. But I did understand a lot of the things that was going on here in Silicon Valley, because it was part of my job. I needed to know about tech. So I tried to expand my knowledge, if you will. And so when I come into This Week in Google, I try to bring things that are outside of Silicon Valley, that perspective that's outside of Silicon Valley. You know, people over here will talk about cars, and the first thing that come out of their mouth is a Tesla. Where I'm from, when you talk about cars, you talk about Ford and Chevy. You know, it's just perspectives, you know. But yeah, that's This Week in Google. Let's turn more into what Mr. Laporte calls a potpourri show, where we talk about a little bit of everything and we have fun doing it. It's not just a bunch of folks sitting around with shirts and ties or blouses and just snooty. You know, we have fun doing it. We try to educate and inform and just have fun, because we love each other. Everybody on that panel, we love each other. We really love sitting down each Wednesday and talking to each other and sharing. So yeah, check out This Week in Google. twit.tv/twig. Jim says, let's spend $1,200 on a smartphone that I'll replace in 2 years. Exactly. That's the kind of stuff that I like to bring to the table. This is something y'all probably don't know, but I have a Pixel 4 XL over here somewhere. When that thing was announced, and when it was announced with that price, I was like, that's some bullshit, Google. That's just not, that phone can't be worth that. And Mr. Laporte and Mrs. Laporte, you know, they wanted to buy the phone for me and for Mr. Jason Howell, because we're the Android people. We can talk about some content with it and so on and so forth, because it just makes sense from a work perspective. And I was not thrilled, you know, when he brought it up to me. He's like, we'll get you a Pixel 4. And I was like, don't do it. I was like, don't spend that money. It just don't spend that money, you know. But he was like, no, I understand where you're coming from, but you can use this as part of your show and things like that. And I've done a lot of things with that phone from a content creation perspective. So it has paid off in that standpoint. But at the same time, I'm that pragmatic dude that didn't always have a couple bucks in his pocket, and I just don't like to spend that kind of money on things. When this other phone, this one here, this phone is $400. Yeah, that's it. It's $400, and it does this pretty much the same shit as those expensive phones. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting off my soapbox now. I'm gonna go back to Photoshop. Yeah, I'm done with this one. I like this. So I'll hit save. And then we'll go back to Lightroom. And my camera froze again. Don't you love it when cameras freeze on a live stream? Isn't that awesome? Yeah, you can say yeah. All right, so while I go back to Lightroom, any other questions? Or comments? Feedback? When you do all those adjustment layers, it does take forever for it to get back into Lightroom. But that's how I like to process. There we go. And then I like to do a little bit of a vignette. Ain't that pretty? Let's check this horizon line. I think I got my horizon line pretty good. Yep, I did. Ain't that pretty? Let's see. Moosey Geek says you could use some of those freeze frames for your thumbnail. I may do that if I yeah, I may have to do that. I'll have to download this file and see if I can pull the stills off of it. It's pretty funny. Good call, sir. Good call. Make sure you guys are following Moosey Geek too. I'm not a gamer. He is. And damn it froze again. Somebody can snap a screenshot and make GIFs out of these. I won't be offended. Anyway, make sure you follow this cat right here, Moosey Geek. See that name? Give him a follow. It's good people. Just going back to the chat. Lila Barnes, Photoshop and preach. Yes. Hey, look, I try not to get on a soapbox. I try because I hate a bunch of blowhardy people. There's so many. When I'm on Twitter in particular and see stuff that people are retweeting from celebrities, and it just comes off so blowhardy because them cats, they just don't get it. A lot of those celebrities don't get it, you know. They're in a whole different level of privilege and can't relate. They just can't. So I don't need their blowhardy stuff, and I try not to be blowhardy. Joshua says, I'm still a huge fan of Twig and also Hop as well. Great content. Just like you, Ant. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, brother. All right, so let's go back to, let's see. Yeah, I just did the vignette on this. I think I'm done with this, folks. Well, maybe I can crop it in just a little bit. Let's crop it in a little bit. Actually, let's see. If I do a square crop, what will happen? Doing the square crop looks okay. The only problem is I lose some of the depth because putting it over here, I get more depth because you see the stuff in the background. So you have to sort of split the difference. So square crop works, right? What do you think? Nah. Nah, I'm going to go back. 16:9. Let's try 16:9. Let's see. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Let's just lower this horizon line a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, that looks better. Cropping, folks, I'm telling you, one of the best things you can do for your images, best things and easiest things you can do is crop your photographs. So many people will post images online, and if they just crop just a quarter off one side, it would look so much better, so much better. And Mr. Jim in the chat says, I'm just listening to you while editing with Snapseed on my phone. Yes, Snapseed is awesome. Google Photos is nice when you go back a few years and apply what you've. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to get on a soapbox just yet. And then he also says, yeah, you need those pine trees. Yeah, the cropping helped, but if I cropped out these trees during this, it's boring. I mean, that looks okay. You know, that looks okay. But this having these trees here just gives you this nice anchor. Just a nice bit of a frame right there. Yeah, right about here. That works. I think that looks way better because you get a foreground, a midground, and a background way off in the distance background. You know, I don't know if you can see that. So we got foreground, midground right about there at that tree, right about here at this house, and then the background is another house, and then the mountain back there. You know, so you hit all three levels of perspective in the shot, you know. Musiki asks, let's see, hold on, pull it back on the screen. I missed it, but what's your aspect ratio for cropping 16:9? No, I crop based on feel. Most of the time, if I'm thinking Instagram, because some shots when I'm doing post-processing, I'm thinking Instagram. Most of the time I'm not, but every now and then I am. But if I'm thinking Instagram, I'm thinking 1:1 aspect ratio. That's square. Instagram allows you to do a 16:9 aspect ratio, but quite frankly, they just don't look as good. So if you can frame your shot, pre-shot before you even hit the shutter, if you can frame your shot with the mindset of square, you're going to be better off because you'll also be able to keep resolution and post it to Instagram, and it'll look a lot better. If you just scroll through your Instagram feed right now, well, not right now, you're watching this live stream. If you scroll through your Instagram feed and when your thumb stops, notice why it stops. It stops probably because of light, stops probably because of color, and then it's probably cropped in a 1:1 aspect ratio. Just try it and you'll see. And Instagram knows that, so they will promote a lot of that 1:1 square crop stuff. But most of the time I crop just based on the feel and whatever I'm working on. Sometimes it's 16:9, sometimes it's 4:3, sometimes it's 1:1. My camera by default shoots in a 4:3 aspect ratio, like a lot of cameras. But I've set my camera to, by default, shoot 16:9 because I've been doing a lot of thumbnails recently. And when you're doing thumbnails for YouTube and websites and things like that, those thumbnails are usually in a 16:9 aspect ratio. So I just work on that by default from a in-camera standpoint. And then after that, I go from there. Good question, sir. Good question. Photoshop and preach. That still makes me laugh. Bid says, James, I've had Snapseed on my phone for a minute, but never used it. Dude, it is. Hey, look, Snapseed is legit. Man, I think back to the smartphone photography community that I used to run, and that was a staple with Snapseed. And it's just gotten better over the years. I mean, it's just gotten way better, and they added more tools and cloning and stuff like that. And it's just really, really good. And it doesn't cost you a thing. Heck, there are times that I would snap something on my camera and I can pull it off of my camera wirelessly to my phone, and I'll edit it inside of Lightroom Mobile, or I'll edit it inside of Snapseed. Well, not edit, mostly just post-processing. No real legit photo manipulation. But yeah, Snapseed is quite serviceable, and it doesn't cost a ding. All right. Y'all got any other questions, anything for me before I go? Because I have been going at this for 46 minutes, apparently. Woo. That's a long time. People don't watch YouTube videos that long. They just don't, just so you know. I look at my YouTube analytics, and it's amazing to see how fast people drop off when they're watching a video. I don't care how long it is. Just the attention span of people is just so short. And that's why the likes of TikTok is doing so well, because about 60 seconds is all the attention people have nowadays. I wonder if I can show y'all some analytics without showing too much private information. Let's see if I can do that. Hold on. So I'm not going to show y'all everything, you know. Some things are private. Moosey Geek says, yeah, that was fun. Guess you're talking about the community? Yep. I hope so, because the smartphone photography community was a lot of fun, and you were a big part of it. Hello Barnes says, I just found your channel. Hold on. Here we go. I just found your channel. So glad. Makes 2020 better at the end. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for checking me out. I try to do this stuff. I try to do a video a week, but I've been busy with work. So now it's come down to like maybe one every other week, something like that. I thought I'd shoot one today, but I didn't get around to it because I was working on work again. So I said, I'll at least do a live stream at the very least. Jim says, have to say good night. Say hi to the family and have a good new year. Ah, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to take off here momentarily. I'm going to attempt to anyway. Let me see if I can show some analytics. Can I show you all analytics and then not give you a bunch of private information? Hold on. Yep, there's private information right there, so I can't show that screen. Let's see, engagement. Here we go. All right, so let me see if I can show you this screen here. All right, so this is talking about engagement and audience retention. Okay. Watch time is up 2%. And this is just overall channel information. Average view duration, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's not very long. Okay, so let's look at this video here. Now this is the last video I did where I talked about stop buying these expensive ass smartphones. That video is 8 minutes long, as you can see right here on the screen. It's 8 minutes long, but this is the views. People clicked on to watch it, and it's automatically decreasing. 25 seconds in, and I'm down to 66% viewership. And it just keeps going, and it keeps going, keeps getting lower. Getting to 100% was 17%. 17% of the views, people watched it all the way through. Ain't that crazy? Thank you, Moosey Geek. I appreciate you. Thanks for popping in, Josh. I bet mentioning Verizon killed it. That's possible. But I think I mentioned Verizon later on in the video. So it's just crazy how these trends work, man. Just crazy. So let's look at this one. This is an unboxing video for the GoPro Hero 9. Same thing. 61% at 30 seconds in. Already bailing out. Peak Design's new product. Love Peak Design. Barely holding on. 30 seconds in. You know? Canon's R5 and R6. My little commentary on that. 30 seconds in, they're bailing out. Let me see if I can find my my most popular video isn't showing in this list though. Yeah, this is my most popular video, or one of them. And this how to mask out some things inside of Premiere. It doesn't show me the watch time. Nope. Does not. So, but yeah, that's just how this whole watch time and views go, man. It just, people's attention spans, you better hold on to them while you got them, you know. And another thing, people will question views of their videos on YouTube, and they'll say, man, I only got 50 views on this video, and they'll feel bad about it. And if you ask them how many subscribers they have, they'll say, well, I got 300 subscribers. What they don't realize is that's pretty good. You got 300 subscribers and you got 50 views. That's pretty good, and that's pretty normal. You know, you can have 10 million subscribers and only get about 10,000 views, or maybe 100,000 views, or something like that. It's just the way it is. Let's look at some of the really popular YouTubers. See if we can pull that up. Okay, so let's go to, Marquez Brownlee. Pull that one up. He just published this today. He has 13 million subscribers, and this video has 50,000 views as of right now. But let's go to some of his older videos that people probably aren't watching as much at this particular time. Okay, Smartphone Awards, Barack Obama. How about this one? AirPod Max. Okay, because that's pretty search engine optimized. Everybody wants to check for that. Okay, 13 million subscribers, and he's got 5 million views. So you expect, well, man, he's got 13 million subscribers. I would assume at least 8 to 10 million views for something like that, because it's Apple and everybody's wanting to know that. And then he's going to get served up to other people that's not even subscribed, you know. But then you go back to something that's a little less niche-y. Let's see. Let's say Galaxy Fold. Woo! Didn't mean to play that in my ears like that. Sorry about that. 3 million views on this video. So you have to, it's a weird algorithmic average on YouTube, but just don't fight it. Just if you enjoy making your videos, keep making the videos. And if people like it, they'll find it. If YouTube will push it out, and, you know, just do stuff because you love it. Don't chase numbers. That's all I was going to say. Yeah, I use vidIQ. I use the free version of it because the paid version didn't offer me anything that I wasn't already getting. So, but I like vidIQ. It does help me out with some of my insights and analytics and when I'm trying to plan out videos. So, yeah. TubeBuddy. Yeah, TubeBuddy is another popular one. Ben also says, went from iPhone 6S Plus to the XS Max. That's 4 models I skipped. Plan to stay right there just for a while. And it takes fantastic photos. You know what? That's the route that I would go to. There's no reason to upgrade from that XS Max. Just none. Not right now. You know? Duragus, is that how you say that? Duragus says, hey, did you see the latest Boston Dynamics video? Had like 10 million views in one day. Right. That's a viral video. That's another thing. That's something totally different. A viral video is not the same as an evergreen video. Viral videos will get a gazillion views and then they're forgotten about in a month. They won't grow. I don't ever want to be viral. I'd rather people come back to my channel and sort of refresh themselves on something. You know, if it's a photography tip or whatever, they'll keep coming back. I try to make my videos evergreen. I don't want to be viral because viral gets forgotten so quickly. You end up being like what they used to call back in the days, one-hit wonders. So no, screw being viral. You know, the TikTok guy that's been drinking the cranberry juice or whatever, people are going to forget about that. You know, I'm glad he's gotten a lot of recognition and has some things help change his life. And kudos to him. You know, those companies and brands reached out and helped him out. And man, that was a little hard on his luck. But quite frankly, people are going to forget about that video, say April 1st. April Fool's Day, they won't know anything about him. It's just how it goes. Let's see. Free version of TubeBuddy. I'll look at that one and see how it compares. I want to say I did try TubeBuddy at one point, but I was at the time I was already on vidIQ and it didn't show me much difference, so I let it go. Mr. Rice says, I usually watch, and the camera freezes again. I usually watch Mr. Mobile, and my favorite segment was Phone Was Fun. Yeah, Mr. Mobile's pretty cool. He's been on the network a couple times. Let's get this camera to stop freezing on us for a second. There we go. Whoops, back. There. And Durga says, I posted some Beat Saber videos last year and got 50 views or so, but one had 14,000. And I don't even know how. I guess it was viral. Yeah. And that's the thing. It'll latch on and it'll just take off and then it'll die. You know, just the views coming in from it that hit that one spike and then it just sort of dies out. And that's okay. It happens. Happens to everybody. Okay. I have a video, and I think it's my most popular video. Let me see if I could find it real quick. That I remember when I did this video, I was reluctant about doing it because it's not my niche, but this piece of tech showed up, or piece of product showed up at my house one day with a note. And I'm like, why is this here? And why would they even assume that I'm the person to market this thing, or, you know, or even give it some type of credit or whatever? And it ended up being my most popular video, even though it's not in my niche. Why can't I find it now? Analytics. Where is it? Oh, damn. Oh, I know how to find it. I'll just go youtube.com and just search for it by name. It's probably going to be one of the first things that pop up in the search engine. I'm dead serious. That's how crazy it is. So let's go YouTube. Share my screen so y'all can see what I'm doing. YouTube. And we'll say Space Scooter. Look at that. The first one. The first one, you know, this thing's got 100,000 views plus 3 years ago, and it just keeps growing. It keeps growing. And I didn't put a lot of effort into this thing. My son has more effort in this video than I do. Yeah, I did not put a lot. I mean, even look at the tags. I didn't even put a lot of tags on it, but it's got all of these comments. But this thing, I still see monetization from this video every single month. It's crazy. No, my tags, look, my tags are not great. I didn't put any effort into this video. None. And the camera froze again. I'm about sick of this. Refresh it. Get right, camera. Well, okay, so again, if it got posted on their site, I guess they're getting a whole lot of traffic on their website. But yeah, you look at these tags, none of this stuff has anything to do with me. These are my channel tags down here. Photography, content creation related stuff. And then these tags are very average. It's so crazy, man. But it's funny how that video comes up as the first one in search. It's so crazy. But anyway, yeah. Sometimes stuff like that happens. Who said that? Duragas. Sometimes that stuff just happens. Just enjoy the ride. I don't think anything else about that video. I don't. It's just when I see my little statement from YouTube, it's always on that statement. And I'm like, okay, sure. Let's see. Isn't there a place to show what's that say? Isn't there a place to show location, how they get to that video? Yeah, the analytics shows me that it's served up by YouTube search. YouTube search. Let me see if I can pull up the analytics on it. YouTube search is like the primary way that it gets to me. I'm gonna try to pull it up without showing revenues. Reach, audience retention. There we go. Audience. All right. So let's flip to this screen. There. I'll move this so you can see. But yeah, that says 99% are people not subscribed. Germany, the UK. I mean, it's not even nobody in the US is watching it. Go figure. Oh man, I love it. I love it. He says, yeah, I didn't realize until a year later, as I don't follow views, as I was just, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Good stuff, man. It's cool to see that you had that spike though, right? But yeah, most of that video though is served up from a YouTube search. Yeah, YouTube search and external is what it says. I can't show you the screen because it has the revenues on it, and I don't want to show that. That's private. All right. Anything else before I go? Because this was my lunch break and I haven't even eaten. And I've been on here for 1 hour and 4 minutes with you fine folks. That's pretty crazy, right? He Googled it and it came up too. Googling space scooter, your video comes up. There's another video of mine that I'm just getting a lot of praise for, and I'm proud of it, but I never thought that it would be one of the most popular ones out there. What pops up if you say remove objects in video or remove objects in Premiere Pro, something like that? A friend of mine shot me a message not too long ago, and he says, I was trying to figure out how to do something in Premiere Pro, and I wanted to to remove something, try to hide something in the video. So I searched on Google how to do it, and your face popped up. Let's see if I can pull it up. Did not want audio. Stop playing audio. It keeps doing that. Mute. Premiere. Well, there it is. You found it. Oh, see, now isn't that it? That's crazy. So you found my channel because of that video. Thank you. It blows my mind, man. Really, it blows my mind. But that's, again, that comes down to proper search engine optimization and stuff. Let me see if I can show the tags on that. I'll pop out on that screen and make sure it's muted. Flip to this screen. I'll move this out of the way. I'll pause the video. But I scroll down and I'm ranked number 9 for that particular tag. Mask unwanted. 18 for that. Remove objects. I'm 18 for that one. But yeah, man, just proper tagging, proper titles, proper thumbnails. All of that stuff makes a difference on YouTube. It really, really does. Really, really does. And if you can take some time to work on your thumbnails and your tags and titles, your stuff will be found. It won't be viral, but it'll be found, and be something that's looked at pretty consistently from all over the place. All right. Okie dokie. So I am going to go get something to eat. Thank you all. Thank you, Durgas and Durgas. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Thank you, Musagi. Thank you, Big Jim. Thank you, Mr. Josh. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Thank you, LL Barnes. Thank you, Kwame. Thank you. Wow. Who else is in here? Bruce and Ryan. Those are all the people that were chatting. And thank you to everyone else that popped in and didn't chat, but they were popping in and watching. I'm going to go. I did not intend on being on here for an hour. Jeez Louise. Happy New Year to all of you folks. I don't particularly do that, but I hope you all have a uneventful New Year's Eve. And I hope you finish this year strong. I plan on it. And give yourself some momentum to go into 2021 on a strong, positive note to just really kick some ass for this coming year. I plan on it, so I hope you do too. All right, folks, you all take care. Like, share, subscribe, all of those wonderful things that every big YouTuber says. Please and thank you. All right, y'all create and dominate, and I'll catch you later.